Greetings, folks. Iolair here. Another very good reason to stay on top of the World of Warships development blog. Today, July 6th, Wargaming announced the return of the Kitakami. This is a ship that will be available to supertesters in 097, and this ship is legendary among players who participated in early testing rounds of warships prior to its public release in September 2015. This ship was pulled before the game went public because of the very high rate of team damage this ship would produce unless a player was very careful about how to manage her main armament, which is 40 torpedoes available in 5 quadruple torpedo launchers on each side of the ship. So Wargaming has announced that the ship will be reintroduced as a Tier 10 Japanese cruiser. She will be very fragile, have poor AA. In fact, her hit point pool is only 28,500 and has effectively no armor. She's just basically going to be a giant floating citadel with a lot of torpedoes on it. And in fact, Wargaming mentions in their dialogue, quote, "We understand there might be concerns about the ship dealing damage to allies, and we plan to take them into account when the ship will be released." So Wargaming already knows that the ship has a reputation that they're going to have to overcome. The ship itself, like I said, will have 40 torpedoes, and the torpedoes will have a range of 15 kilometers. They'll be relatively slow at 57 knots. The alpha will also be uncharacteristically low for a Japanese ship at 15,633. The ship's concealment will actually be quite good. Base concealment will be 10.6 kilometers. I'm assuming that does not include concealment expert, concealment systems upgrade, or the camouflage. And assuming it does not, the concealment will be below 9 kilometers. So in some ways, this is going to be a very large destroyer with a citadel. She is going to have access to smoke and engine boost, so in that respect, she is a little more like a destroyer. She will also have access to repair party, which I think will be a little bit of comfort for players that try to play her with a cruiser with such a small hit point pool. Her main armament will be basically, token. It's 4 140 millimeter guns with a firing range of 13.1 kilometers. I suppose it could be increased with the gunfire control system upgrade in slot 6, but given the intended playstyle of the ship and her very large torpedo complement, I suspect that's not going to be the upgrade that most people would take, or anybody would take for that matter. Her speed is 32 knots. Turning circle is turning circle is quite good at 640 meters. Rudder shift is 7 seconds. So again, I think in terms of her physical dimensions, she's basically like a very elongated destroyer. But I think Wargaming's classifying her as a cruiser, so that she has a citadel and can be taken out if relatively easily if she gets spotted. So there's probably a pretty high skill floor associated with this ship. That's what I suspect. So in any case, for those of you who remember this ship and during testing, feel free to leave your comments below. I would be very curious to know your opinions and feedback on this ship. Like I said, she does have a fairly significant reputation among folks that have been around the game for a long time and remember her during testing periods. And if anybody obviously else has comments, feel free to leave them below. Be curious to see what other people are thinking as well. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas, and we wish you happy sailing.